Hello, good day, good evening, whenever the time may be that you're seeing this. We are from Stichting Afropeans. This podcast is about living in color, youth and their experience, and their experience with diversity and equality. My name is Nigel. I'm 19 years old. Over here we have
Sarah, I'm 21 years old.
Over there we have.
I'm Sarah, I'm also 19 years old.
And I'm Zaira, and I'm also 19 years old.
Yeah, so this is a topic, like I just said, youth and their experience with diversity and equality. And we're just here to talk, make the best out of it, enjoy, and God bless. So, how are y'all doing, first off?
I'm good. I'm feeling great.
Yes.
Nothing eventful today?
No, honestly, no.
Basic. So for the first, we have just a general question. The first one is, what does diversity mean to you?
Ooh.
Well,
Since no one's starting, diversity for me, it is basically all different cultures coming together all at once. So different races, for example, different regions, different continents, whatever, just different cultures coming together in one place. That's diversity.
And to sorry.
For me, diversity means just something different than normally. So different aspects to someone makes them different. So there's diversity to that person.
yeah, being able to be yourself and coming together with people that you might not know have like things in common with you, but then again they do, but they just have like a different background, a different upbringing, and how that comes together.
Yeah, no, I would say the same, especially when it comes to just multiple cultures and stuff just coming together, getting to know one another, and actually trying to make things work, make things connect. How do you think Rotterdam is dealing with diversity?
Ooh,
I think pretty well.
yeah.
There is a lot of different diversity in Rotterdam. There's so many different cultures over here and so many different things to do and many different people. Because from what I know, we have like our own type of clothing style. You have a lot of people that some more style.
Respectfully.
Yeah. But there's a lot of diversity in Rotterdam.
I agree. There's a lot, actually.
But then, would you say that it's more something to do because we have a lot of diversity. We have a lot of different people here: Moroccans, Turkish, African, God knows whatever else. But in certain circumstances, is that actual diversity or more tolerance to the people? Like just being tolerant that the people are here.
I think it depends on the region.
Yeah.
Because some people only have the tolerance for it, but like when I go into the city, I do see a lot of different people, and there it's more common to like especially say hi to each other, for me at least. And then around where I live, I don't really have that, or like the looks that you get when you walk down the street, or even when I'm working, that people are like, oh, are you the only black one here, you know? So that's something.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's true though, because it depends on where you live. To be fair, if you're more in an expensive neighborhood, then they're just like, okay, you are here, okay?
Yeah, because I can't believe that people of color could.
But they just tolerate it. But in the city, it's kind of weird to not see a black person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is very true.
If you wanted to see one black person, you would be like, what is happening in Rotterdam?
Yeah, are they all kidnapped or something? Like, is this some get out stuff? What actually? Yeah, no, but it's also regions definitely, but also certain people, because sometimes, I don't want to say too much, but sometimes in some stores as well, like in town, like in town itself, like it depends what store you walk into. It depends on the people like itself, because some people are low-key racist,
but they try to play it off.
Some people are low-key racist, and other people really don't care, and they just love like, oh yeah, there's so many.
Other people just sleep with a pointy hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but there's also people that want to be like black or Asian, or like they try to. They're just wannabes.
Yes.
You know, and but it's all around. It's not one or the other. It's all in between.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like through.
that's very true. No, when it comes to stuff like that, I myself haven't experienced actually a lot of racism. Like not, well, I've heard when I did, I heard some crazy things. Like I think the craziest thing I've experienced was I was doing delivery at the Beta by Cyberland, and I was biking around in Charlotte, and I was just biking around, and I had AirPods in, but I could still hear the outside world, and just in my right ear, I'm biking past this group of white kids.
I remember
not older
that.
than 12, I think, and I hear one of them like just ever so slightly, "Go buy weed somewhere," and I was like, I almost turned around, but because I wasn't sure, I didn't do anything. But thank the Lord I didn't, because I don't know where I would be right now.
Yeah.
I think that's a crazy
That's actually insane.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's actually insane.
And let me think. I think like 15, 16 when that happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to react.
You know what the crazy? You know what's crazy? Like this actually happens so much. Like
It really does.
I've seen it happen to other people. Oh my.
Really?
Yeah,
It-
like actually, or like a monkey, like like just making monkey noises or yelling monkey. But the craziest thing I ever experienced, I was in a bus, and there was this guy. I think he was under influence, like he was out of it for real. But he said, like we were, like there was a few black people sitting in the front of the bus.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the back.
Sitting in the back of the bus.
Yeah. No, but you know what he said? He was like, "Yeah, now you guys are allowed to sit in the front of the bus too." And I was in shock. But I'm not gonna lie, I laughed because it was so funny to see. But like, he was actually but like the other people were also laughing because you couldn't take him serious. But like if he was not under the influence, he was like serious and like rude about it. He was just like, "Oh yeah, that's so cool. Y'all can sit on the front of the bus." But like if he was like, "Oh yeah, y'all can sit in the front," like it would have been different. But that was the craziest thing I've actually
No,
experienced.
for me, one time when I was working at my old job, it was like around Sinterklaas, or like a little bit after.
Oh no.
And like this little kid walks up to me
I can see where this is going.
and he asked me if Sinterklaas forgot to take me back on the boat.
Oh my days.
That is insane.
That's horrible.
And I was just standing there and I was looking at the mom and I was looking at the child and I was like, "Are you not gonna say anything to her?"
Are you allowing this?
No, my mom experienced something similar.
Oh shoot, that's
Like,
crazy.
she was working at another bear like way back, I think. So, Mom, if you see this, please don't slap me.
She just might.
Like, there also something with a kid, and like the kid called her like Black Pete or something.
Kids
But
are brutal.
My mom actually went up to the kid, and I don't remember exactly what she said, but something like her black self taking her black spit in her food, in the kid's food or something like that, just retaliated instantly to the kid.
Well, that's
Oh,
that's
wow.
one way to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's one way.
She didn't hear anything since.
Hey, it works.
If it works, it works.
Exactly.
Yeah, for me, I don't really have like that bad of experience. Only like guys coming up to me and be like, "You're so pretty for a black girl." I'm like,
Oh, I
I've
hate
had
that.
I've had that,
I
yeah.
hate
or
that.
just telling me like, "I really want to go with a black girl for once." I was like,
Once.
I'm not the one.
Like,
I just have things like that, like those backhanded compliments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Have you ever had people like want to use you to make NBA babies or whatever?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did have
Yes.
one time.
Yo.
I was just standing, I was just waiting for the bus or something, and some woman came up to me and she's like, "Is that your real hair?" I was like, "No." And then she just started touching it. I was like, "Why are you touching my hair?"
Oh yeah.
That is so.
I
that's
have that a
disrespectful.
lot. Like when I
Same.
started the job that I have now, one of my managers one time, she came up to me and she was like, is that your real hair? And I just looked at her and I was like, yeah, it is. She was like, can I touch it? And she just already went with her hand and was like, girl, no.
Oh,
I
Girl,
live in
no.
Mexico because they don't usually see people with curly hair. And I was taking my braids out, and they all started touching it. They're like, "So your hair is so soft." I'm like, I don't have the patience for this, man. Lord, thank you.
Holy Spirit activate.
That does go very well into the next question, though. How do you deal with racism or discrimination when it happens to you?
Honestly, I just kind of go silent because I'm like, I'm too unbothered to even say something. I'm like, honey, I'm pretty enough for this. I'm not doing this.
Yes, you did that. Yeah, and for you?
For me, it depends because I'm kind of a hothead. So sometimes I do retaliate, but it's only when I see that it's like on purpose. And it also happens a lot when I'm working because people have these like stereotypes or whatever, and a lot of people don't have the balls, I guess, to say something about it. But when I see it happening and I know that it's with a bad intention, I would be the one to be like, that's not okay. But yeah, it happens a lot.
For me, it depends though. Like if it's like, for example, small kids, I've had it with small kids that they actually don't understand, like it's not okay to say certain stuff.
Yeah.
Like then I'll correct them. But like older people, I just let it slide off me because I'm like, we're in 2025 now. Happy New Year, everyone. But we're in 2025, so at this point we're not like, I guess we're still in modern day slavery, but like it has nothing to do with the race anymore. So it's weird if people still like, I just look at you like, are you dumb? Like I just actually look at you like you're weird.
Yeah.
It says more about them than me.
Yeah,
honestly.
How about you?
For me, I don't really do much. It really depends on what is said, and I'll probably just see it as a joke and just laugh. Or I'll genuinely flabbergasted. Or I retaliate by roasting them back. Or making a remark against them.
Yes.
So like the Holy Spirit does have to fix my tongue on that one. Like I've said crazy things.
Well, same here. Same here.
And I'm not having that.
It's even some just my color. When something like I say whatever.
You do indeed. Most of the times I see everything as a joke. Like when people, I can't believe if like someone is like so serious that they would just straight up say it. Like if you're racist so boldly in front of me, I'll start laughing because how like is it because I'm like yes okay my bad sure like at that point.
But how much can you actually say? Because I'm like. It's just something I did not expect someone to tell me, to say to me, so of course I'm gonna laugh. What else am I supposed to do?
I'm just gonna nervously, or actually I'm gonna find it funny, I'm not even gonna nervously, I'm just gonna laugh, like, what else do you want me to say?
Yeah. And do y'all think there's like enough attention in Rotterdam when it comes to racism? Like in schools or whatever else?
There is pretty, let's talk about the BLM
movement.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was very good on the bridge.
It was really powerful.
It was.
The Black Lives Matter thing. Yeah. But after that, I've not.
But I thought you were talking about the raids, bro.
Over here in Rotterdam, there was also some raids though, because I remember the place where I was working. They kind of jumped the store.
There was
was that because of the Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, if I'm right, I'm not sure anymore actually. But
because
I think so.
If I remember correctly, it was also the COVID period, and we also had like what's it called, the like the lock or whatever lockdown stuff, and people got so mad at like when they like lengthened it, and then there was raids and stuff.
The raid I was talking about was the one that happened after the George Floyd situation.
That was US, right?
That was in US, but some like
there were some raids here.
Really?
Yeah, there were some. Because people were just
there were some big raids.
That's why for the Black Lives Matter
movement. It's okay.
That's why they were like, okay, we can have it, but don't let there be like don't
Don't do too much.
Yeah.
That's it basically, because if something's gonna happen, like if the police had to come, even more, then they're gonna stop it like instantly. I remember, because my mom was really protective over me. But yeah, that was a really good moment though.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
There are moments that Rotterdam really takes care of the racism and everything, but it really depends on what happens, I've noticed. If it's not something that big, or if someone doesn't make it something big, then it's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just there, it's never gonna leave.
That's
So
very
they're not
true.
that impressed by it. Then.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Black Lives Matter movement was the only thing that really stood out. I've not
Yeah.
really seen
Yeah.
anything else, honestly.
No,
yeah,
same.
there's some other things like Blackout Tuesday or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Social
okay.
media.
Media, yes.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
That was
That's
also like this big thing. That everybody just posting some black picture.
Yeah, I did it too.
I don't know if I did.
It is somewhere on my timeline.
I probably have an archive
I
somewhere.
know.
I probably have an archive. Like,
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't think I posted that. And yeah, speaking of like Black Lives Matter and stuff, when it comes to like racism towards black people, some people say that being black and racist against white people is reverse racism. Do y'all see that the same way, or is it just racism?
Racism is racism.
Racism, yeah.
What
well,
else?
for me, it's like if you're a certain race, right? Like, for example, I'm black and white. I can be racist about that. But if I'm gonna start saying stuff about Asian people, it's racism. And same way, if a white person says something about like a black person, it's racism. And unless you're joking, of course, because well, if you're friends with an Asian person and you're making jokes, then obviously it's fine. But if you're seriously like, as a black person going to a white person, like, yeah, this is that, and you're like serious, you're not joking, you're not saying it to like, I don't know, just get a reaction, like you're actually serious, that should be considered racism. But oppression is something different, and that is not something that white people can say like, oh, we're being oppressed, because they are not oppressed. We are definitely oppressed. But we can be racist, but not oppressive, because we're not the oppressors. That's my opinion about that.
Interesting.
Just don't be racist.
Yeah.
To me, whatever race you are, and to whatever race you're being racist to, it's just racist.
It's
like
racist.
black to black. Like black people can also be racist to black people.
Very
as well.
much so.
That is
Colorism is a
I
real
remember
thing.
this one thing on Dr. Phil, and I still don't know if it's a joke or not, but there was
The
this
girl.
black
Oh, the girl.
that thought she was
claiming
white.
she was
Yeah.
Okay, no, in that case, then yeah, if you're black and you can be racist to black.
But she was really racist.
She was
so-
No, but y'all see
straight
what
out
I
of
mean?
the hood.
She was like
For
Ku Klux
for me, it doesn't
Klan,
matter.
everything.
You can be Asian hating white people and white hating Asian people. Racist is racist.
Racist.
For real.
Yeah,
Yes.
actually, yeah, that is true. If you're
It
just
is.
judging someone based on race, it's racism. Yeah, that's
like
true.
when we're gonna take you for example.
Okay.
Like when someone is racist towards you for instance, like say it's me,
Mhm.
I'm already being double racist because you're both worlds, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So
Depends on
like
which one you're going for.
yeah, it depends on which one I'm going
He goes for both
but-
people.
Yeah.
He goes for both a
Well,
lot.
you're definitely making distinctions between your white and black one, so I don't know. But
No
That
comment.
is the one to say, so.
No, I still don't even understand like how people just randomly like decided to set sail like to a different continent or country,
Yes.
and then saw a different continent and was like, I don't like it that much. It looks different.
Yeah.
It's not even that it looks ugly. It's just it looks different.
Yeah.
So let's oppress it. No.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
no.
I don't get how that works. I don't get how certain people are still racist because
Because they want power, that's really
Yes.
It's the
Real.
It's a
power,
real.
power.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
like, I want this, so I'm gonna take this.
Mhm.
Whether
Yeah.
or not. It's yours, I don't care. I'm just gonna take it. 'Cause
Yeah.
they want too much power.
Yeah.
that's so true. And then they make a stereotype, and then as soon as someone fits a little bit into the stereotype,
Yeah.
see, cause you're always
Yeah.
like, doing. Okay, for example, yes, we do love chicken, but everybody loves corn. Everyone loves chicken. Like, bro, all my white family members like chicken too. It's just because you're black and you like chicken, then see, because
Or like watermelon.
yeah, buttermelon's good. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
Oh yeah, she's allergic to fruits. Yeah.
oh girl.
Well, to an extent. Yeah.
Okay, to an extent, but we don't know the
Yeah,
extent.
that's
We don't know the
different
extent.
topic.
That's the thing.
That's a different podcast.
That's a different story.
And when it comes to just like this whole abolishment stuff and people treating each other unfairly because of their color, what does equality mean to y'all?
I don't know who's go for it. I could actually start, but I was thinking maybe someone else wants to.
You can start.
Being equal, being able to get the same jobs as a certain race. I'm not gonna name the race, but as a certain race, being able to be treated, seen equally, also being seen as qualified equally.
Yes.
Not like, for example, bus drivers. Yes, we're allowed to go on the bus. Don't gatekeep just because you see us like running towards the bus, because that's happened a lot.
Yes,
No,
it
because
happens.
There's something. We can finish and now
Okay,
come back to what
so what I'm like getting at, a lot of the times bus drivers will see a black person and then
they-
they're like wait, and they will not wait, but when it's a white person they
will
would,
wait, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For example,
I've experienced that actually.
yeah, I've
Like,
experienced that so many
Bro,
times.
nah, but
Too
mine
many
was
times.
bad, bro. Because I was at Kronics' home.
Oh
And I
gosh.
was running with it for the bus because I saw it there. I was like, oh shoot, the last person just got in. Let me see if I can go there. I get to the door. Okay, I'm gonna just say it as it is. This old white lady was sitting by the steering wheel. She looked at me, waved, and drove off. She waved with a smile and drove
That is
off.
That's brutal.
Yeah,
I
bro.
would be so pissed.
I
I wasn't even mad. I was more like, wow. Because like there's something I can do. I cannot throw rocks at your window.
No,
or
that's
something.
Honestly, I'm gonna be like, this white woman.
This self-control is one of the fruits of the spirit.
Yeah.
Bro,
Self-control.
I'm gonna be real. I would
try not to listen.
No,
I would
that's
try
true.
not to.
I would just firstly talk to God about it. I would just call my friends and be like, you know what just happened to me?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna leave this.
I was actually gonna say I would probably call you. I would probably call you.
Okay?
Like first I would pray about it and then I would call. I remember literally, when was it, last week that happened to me, and I was literally crying because I was also hormonal. So I started crying because it happened, not because like not because I actually cared. It was just I was literally hormonal. So I was just like, cry, God, but it was both anger and frustration. I wasn't necessarily sad. It was just like,
That always comes
no, I'm so
It all came at once.
no, because I had to walk, or else I would be late for church.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was crazy. And then after that, I texted or called you immediately. I don't know if I told you about it.
No, you did not.
No, but I just texted or called you right after, just about something, because
To get your mind off it.
yeah, it was crazy. And when I tell you, I was standing at the stop. I wasn't even late. I was standing at the stop. He drove by. He beeped. He beeped. And then I looked at it, I was like, wait. And then he stopped the bus, and then I walked towards the bus. I was almost there, and he drove.
Oh, that is just
That was
That's
I'll
actually
be honest,
next
I'd
level.
probably slash a tire.
It was a white man. I had to go to the tram, and he saw me running because I was running towards him, bro. He was looking at me, and I saw his eyes go to me, and I was like pushing the button. He was just looking at me, and then he drove. I was like,
Oh
I was
god.
not happy because my mom was already calling me like, yo, we need to get home. Like, bro, I'm getting this food for my hamster. Please.
Hamster? How long ago was this?
I was 14, so it's 7 years ago, y'all. Yeah, this must have me back. I did not like that.
Yeah, she has not forgotten about it since then. She has not forgotten about it since then. Yeah.
And how do y'all think about like when it comes to racism and discrimination in church? Because that's something that also happens.
That does
It
happen.
does. I have been judged a lot, actually.
for your color and stuff.
Yeah, as well. I had some problems.
Yeah, you also have something. You have also like sexism or something like that.
Yeah,
for
that as
instance.
well. I had
Definitely,
sexism for my color, because for my, it was also sexism and racism at the same time, because it was like, oh, I'm a woman, so I'm not supposed to be doing things like this. I'm like, what?
Mhm.
But also because I'm black, they were like, oh, but you're black, so you're not supposed to be wearing this and this and this. Like, honey, I'm sorry that God blessed me, but come on, man.
Relax.
I'm wearing the same thing as this girl right here.
Mhm.
And of course, I was covered up a bit more, but it was still not good enough because you could see my knees a little bit.
Mhm.
And I was like, I'm even more covered up than her. So, but because I have, as black people, let's be honest, we have more
Figure.
Figure,
no,
yeah.
There's no
Shapes
hijab.
and
there's no
round.
hijab.
Voluptuousness.
So that was
Oh, no,
free
that's a
will
word.
right there.
Your mom can watch this.
She would agree. She would agree.
Yeah, she
That's
would,
what
she
she
would
would.
tell me.
She
She
would.
would tell me, but
She would definitely agree.
but getting to hear things like that at a young age, because I've had to hear that since I was 11. A woman that was in like the most sexiest clothes ever told me I was dressing too sexy. I was like, I'm wearing a dress? I'm an 11-year-old. You're like, what, almost 40.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So hearing things like this from a young age is pretty annoying though. Because I've heard this till this summer
Mhm.
in my church, and I was so done with it. I did not like it.
Mhm.
Everything I was wearing was always a problem. Oh, then it's too short. Oh, you're seeing too much this. Like, I'm trying my best, but
Yeah.
at some point, it's kind of hard for someone that has like a figure, but also has to wear dresses or skirts.
Mhm.
And in this society, it's kind of hard to find those type of clothes now at this point.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
Yes,
modest.
it is.
modesty is not really that much.
Of friggin' thread of some type of like cloth is already just seen as good clothing.
Yes.
Yeah, because a pencil skirt for me, they already consider that as a mini skirt. That's pretty soft. It's like a skirt that's really on your skin.
Yes, it's very tight.
Yeah,
Oh.
very tight. So, yeah, I have had racism for sure in church.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, and you, so
Well,
you never really went to church.
I
right?
went when I was small, but recently I haven't gone.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was born into a Caribbean church, so I never experienced.
Caribbean.
Yeah, actually.
Oh, I just
Yeah.
don't know that.
Oh, well, now you know. Well, there was several, like there was diversity there as well, but like it was mostly like a Caribbean church. But then it was split up for reasons, because of like the pastor or the founder of that church. He was doing weird stuff with the money, so I can't say the church either. So then we moved on to a different church, but that church was mostly white. There was one other like black girl, literally one other in like my age group, and I really noticed it. Like I really remember that was like around the age of, I would say under the age of 11, and I think above the age of 6, so like in between that like little line of like years. But I was literally discriminated against so much. Like my cousins were in that church, from my white side. So I was accepted enough, but like still, it was so weird. Like I remember, like the girls would like talk about crushes, right? Or like oh, I ship you with this person. There was one other black guy. I was always shipped to that person.
Oh.
You know, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. And he was like, sure, he is a beautiful being of God, but like he was not my type at all. And they knew that. It was just simply, oh, you're black. Oh, he's black.
Yeah.
Y'all fit together. Like a segregation's coming back or something. Like that's so weird. But then that church was also like too like quiet. The and I was used to English as well, and it was Dutch speaking. And it was just so quiet, and the music wasn't like swinging, and the
No,
food
Catholic
wasn't
church or
fooding.
something?
No, it wasn't Catholic, but it was just
No hate.
it was just, oh yeah, no hate, it's just the music, you know. But it was just not swinging. The food was not booting, you know. And then I moved on to a different church. It was an African church, and I was happy again. But I still experienced racism there because, as you like, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see I'm very light-skinned. I would be considered beautiful by a lot. Like I was being preyed on by a lot of men. That was very scary. But I would also get like the jokes like, "Oh yeah, you're white passing, and that was also annoying. But that didn't really matter because the kids that did that were also light skinned and also light skin. So it was just funny in that point. And now I'm in my new church, and I've never experienced racism at all in this church. And that also happens to be the same church of Sarai and Daiju, by the way.
Yeah.
Give it up to Alpha and Omega.
Shout out Alpha and Omega. Zaira, you're next.
No racism whatsoever.
Alpha and Omega, Lisplein 31.
You know, Rotterdam North, if you guys want to check it out.
Ja,
The food is
we
also
beginnen om
good.
12 uur, doors open at 11, we start at 12.
The music was very good as well. It's swinging, the food is fooding.
I play drums.
But like I've never experienced racism there, but I've also just only recently joined, so no. But I don't think I'm gonna experience
No, I don't think
racism
so.
at all.
From
It
my
would be
No.
pretty crazy because like everybody is some.
Something.
Yeah, you tell me that.
Something.
I know you
Exactly.
I would be like, look at yourself.
Like you're probably 4 countries. Like even if they're Caucasian, they're like
There's
something. There's
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
They're not just like
a little
Dutch.
percentage of
Yeah.
this and that.
Wait, I do have to say, we are mainly black. I'm talking into this camera here. we're mainly black, Caribbean, whatever else. We do, of course, accept all races. So please do not take
Yes,
that.
we
Thank you very
do. We
much.
do.
Just making sure.
Exactly.
Like you can be a dick and you're very much welcome. Okay.
or a case or the name
Or
not the story.
It's so random.
Elizabeth, you're all welcome. Okay.
You know, like everybody, even Frederick, you know what I'm saying? Or Gertrude, you know? You know, everyone's welcome, everyone's accepted. But actually, we have not even said where we're from or what we're originated from. So I'm African and
I'm Caribbean.
I'm also Caribbean.
Same.
yeah, so for reference a little bit.
Yeah, Sarah is
Cameroonian.
Dutch and Cameroonian.
You are from
Sint Maarten.
St. Marta. A lot.
Don't name it this.
So Suriname, Curaçao, and Venezuela.
Yeah.
And
Why you say it like that?
No, sorry. I'm from Curaçao, also part.
Yeah, mainly.
Yeah.
Huh?
I say yeah. But yeah.
Also partially from Venezuela.
Yeah, nice.
so racism is something that like it happens everywhere, but it's weird that it happens also in church because we're supposed to be God's people.
The church can be like a very, very good and anointed place, and like you would say perfect. By the way, for the people that are listening, I'm like quoting my fingers, so like perfect. But it's not. It's never gonna be like just like in a hospital you find sick people. You don't find healthy people. Same as in the church you find broken people. That Jesus is putting like back together.
Wait, do y'all have like suggestions for like here it says schools, municipalities, or other instances like also just church, or even at homes, for instance? Of course, you're not in the home, but some type of idea to like do something against the racism, etc.
I would say, like, I've seen in America a lot with like my friends and stuff. They have like culture days where people like all perform something from their country, or they're just all dressed in their like culture, like clothing and whatever. And I must say, people really embrace it more. Whereas before, like, I would remember, I went to a mostly white elementary school. I was the only black girl in my class. So, of course, I was bullied like crazy. But I remember I would bring food. It did not stink at all. It was just normal food. But then I would open it. Oh, it stinks. But like
That's such a stereotype.
exactly. But the culture like days that make people like want to learn more or like taste other things, and it's a really good way, especially for schools to
Yes.
to embrace different cultures, and with that also races. I would just assume like maybe a national culture day, because honestly those really do work.
They really do work.
They really
yes.
do.
Yes.
They really do. Because in my old middle school, we had like multiculti parties, it was called, but everyone was just coming over there, and you had like, you could just eat and play games. And in my old church, we had something called United Weekend, and they just raised money to build more churches all over the world. But then that day, you also would come to church in something from your country, like so you wear something nice. So it was really fun, but it's also showing, hey, we are all from different continents.
Yes.
Exactly.
So it was really fun. So something like that would really help to educate people as well at the same time. But
Oh,
having fun.
actually,
Yeah.
no, another
And-
one. More education on actually racism, slavery, all around, and I mean for
Yes.
every race, not just black people, because we're
Yeah,
all
exactly.
blacks, but like every
There's-
race.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But I think we have, even though you can make some funny jokes, but not everything is supposed to be a joke. Because let's
No.
be honest about the KKK, so many people make so many jokes.
Jokes about that. I
They
know.
really
I'm
don't
guilty.
take.
I'm very guilty.
They
I'm
Go
guilty
back
as
to
well.
the beginning of the
They
video.
don't take it seriously at all. I did not ever really make a joke about them because I wasn't that educated about them. I just know they were scary looking, sure. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's also something important because in the end of the day, it's a serious matter in this world.
That's
Racism.
true.
It's not just something. You have to understand people actually just die because they are this certain race.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
But
how about you?
Yeah, I also think in schools, especially because I went to a predominantly white school. So for me, I was the only black girl in my class, in my grade actually. And it came with so much baggage. Like, I was bullied, I was like taken out of class, I had like multiple days that I just had to sit in the hallway and make my work because I wasn't like allowed to go into my classroom. So yeah, it was really bad. And like when I tried to speak up on that and I actually called my teacher racist at 11 years old, that's fine, whatever.
Wow.
But like after I talked about that, there was not necessarily something really done about that because kids can be cruel. And it isn't only about the kids, but it's also about the parents because like you live in Rotterdam, you have a lot of people around you. I had like Turkish people in my class, Moroccan people, a lot of white people, but also like Latinos, Latinas, and the fact that I was like the only one getting singled out really did a number on me back then. So when I left the school, I went back like a few years ago and I did ask them about how they were doing that now, and they were like, yeah, now we're doing like the culture days and everything. And I was like, but how do you handle a kid that's like being singled out, being left out, like not being able to participate? And they're like, well, we don't see that happening. And I was like, oh. So then I explained my situation again and they were like, oh, we never noticed that. So it's not necessarily about the anti-bullying because they only look at the bullying, they don't look at what it stems from. And for me, it stemmed from the fact that I was the only black girl in my entire grade and that no one really knew how to go around with that, even though I wasn't different than the rest. I mean, my palms are white. My palms are literally white, but I was seen as something else, as like a liability.
Mine are also white.
But I was more seen as a liability than like an actual person, an actual kid that also still had to like learn. And it also just came in the way of like my schoolwork because I mean everyone knows the Cito Tutsa. And I was I was very much a victim of that as well because of because like I of course don't have a white last name, but that caused my like advised to be a lot lower than I was supposed to be, which caused me to have a lot of talks at the school and a lot of problems also. So for me, it's more like the education with the parents, but also with the teachers, so they know how to go around with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, because teachers are actually supposed to like learn like more.
Exactly.
So
They're supposed to be aware and attentive
Yeah.
to it, but not like kick a person
Exactly.
out of class.
exactly,
I
like
think some teachers, I had a black teacher actually. She was also from St. Martin, but I told her about someone bullying me.
Yeah.
She put me next to my bully. She was like, "Here, you're gonna sit next to him the whole year." I was like,
Wow. Wow.
what does that do
That's
to make
special.
friends?
Yeah, like make friends with them
Wait,
now.
how did that turn out?
"Oh, he told me he was gonna kill me."
Okay, well, it fell silent real
No,
fast.
it did not work.
Yeah,
It was
no.
such a weird.
No, but teachers should know
Like,
better.
especially because teachers are like a big part of like the first
Yeah.
the first
First
8
8
school
years.
years of your life. Like that really, like primary school really shapes you as a person.
Yeah.
And then when you go
Yeah.
into high school, you're like a 12-year-old kid, or 13, depending on.
I was 11.
I think I barely turned 12.
Yeah,
I was
so
12 already.
so like when you go into high school, like that's a whole different ball game. Then you see, because for me, I saw a lot of different people, like people from Suriname, other Caribbean people, but it was so much more versatile, and that was the first time that I was like, oh, okay, there are more people like me. Of course, I knew, but I didn't know to what extent.
Yeah.
Same. When I went to like middle school or high school, whatever you want to call it, I was like, oh, I'm not the only one, and I wasn't
Yeah.
being like bullied for my race. I was still being bullied, but not by my race, because I was just a pushover. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, God.
But that was also because of the bullying of
Yeah.
elementary school.
Yeah, but to be fair, middle school it really shapes you.
It
Yeah.
does.
Because I remember I was so mad at that teacher, and when we saw each other after years again. Let's see, I was like 19, no, 20, I don't know. But I was like, when I saw her again, I was like, some rage wanted to come up again, because I was like, you did this to me.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, it's been years. She doesn't even remember.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's true.
It does really everything sticks you by.
Yeah.
It really shapes you.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's crazier when the teachers themselves are racist.
Yes.
That is even crazy.
Yes.
I've also experienced that. Ooh, that was actually high school. That's a funny story, actually. There was this white, like, tall, skinny lady. If anyone who was in my class is watching, you know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say the name. But there was this book that we were going to read, and it had the N word, the hard R in the book, right? And she was reading the book to us, and we already all read like ahead, so we already knew what was coming. We were all just like, is she gonna say it? Is she gonna say it? And she did.
Oh,
But that was not necessarily like, that could have also been excuse, like, oh, she was just reading the book, right? But I remember there was this time she was mad at our entire class, and we had a break, and she would not allow us to go, and she would like ask like single like individuals, like, okay, now you can leave, now you can leave. When I tell you, the room was like after 15 minutes, the room was only left with black people. And when I tell you, a lot of like the people that were in that room were like very silent, quiet kids who literally did not do anything.
Oh, wow.
And they were all black, or like any other race, just not white. But mostly were black, and then a few were, it's technically called Caucasian, but they're Middle Eastern, so they were only singled out. I was one of them as well, and I was also always quiet. Like, I could talk like a lot with my friends, but I was never like the one to interrupt a class, because I would like actually listen or just start dreaming. Like, it's either one, but I would be quiet. So like, it was so crazy. And after that, we had a discussion with a different teacher about it, and we spoke, and I spoke up, because I've never been the one to be shy. And I was like, yeah, she's racist. And then we were like, And then they were like mad at us, like, no, she's not racist. She's not the type of person to be like.
Wow.
If teachers are racist, the most dangerous thing because
It is.
they will believe a teacher before you, like
A student.
Oh,
Yes, I had that one time. I had a teacher and they were talking about racism and the whole Black Pete discussion or whatever, and there were a lot of kids in my class. This was my last year of high school, and I had a very like mixed class. I had like a lot of Turkish, a lot of Moroccan people, also a lot of Black people, Caucasian, and they were like egging him on to say the N-word, and I am very opinionated, but I also like knew when to keep my mouth shut. So I was just waiting and I was sitting listening as to if he were gonna say it or not. And then he said it and I was like, do you realize what you've just done? And he was like, what do you mean? And I just explained to him, like, I know that they are egging you on, but as a teacher, as someone who has been educated about racism, about slavery, you are supposed to know that you're not the one able or not the one allowed to say this, especially when you have like 5 or 6 Black kids in your class. And he was like, no, but I didn't mean it that way. I was like, it doesn't matter if you mean it or not. It's the fact that you've said it, and it's the fact that you know the history behind the word. And then he started arguing with me, and I was like, I'm not gonna have this discussion with you, because when you're wrong, you're wrong. And a lot of people in my class, like those who weren't Black, didn't understand where I was coming from. They were like, oh, you're just sensitive, or you're this and you're that. And I was like, it's not sensitivity. I mean, if there's some, for example, if someone has cancer and you curse with cancer, the person or that has a family member or someone they know have cancer is going to get mad. But when you call us the M-word, we're not allowed to get mad. And once I had explained it like that, they were like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And I was like, it's not that hard, especially as a teacher, if you're not educated on it, or even if you are not to say it in a professional setting or outside of it.
Yeah, that's true. I had it with my class teacher, actually. He did not like me. He did not like me because of my race. He didn't like all the Black people, but I was the one that was mostly just saying what I wanted to say if he was acting in a certain way. But he would literally make me fail my classes that I had with him, and he was telling me as well, yeah, you're not gonna make it in life because look at you, look at the person you are and everything.
Yeah.
And also, he would just lie to my parents that I would write things down in my in the class or something, and just tell him like, I'm making fun of Jesus, and I was like, I'm not a Christian. That doesn't make sense. But he would literally tell me, I'm not gonna make sure you're not gonna make it in life.
Oh wow.
So that is insane.
Your class teacher, your first year in high school, and you're experiencing something like this. I was just stressed. I was 12. So that's also really a problem. They can make your life miserable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and one last question before we hop off of all of this.
Wrap it up.
Do you think that social media had a role in enforcing racism and stuff, or more battling against it?
I think in both ways, because everyone has an opinion, of course, and some people speak of their opinion more freely than others. But with the Black Lives Matter movement, like, a lot of people on social media came together, took a stand, posted pictures, went outside. I mean, a lot of people, of course, idolize celebrities, and most celebrities also took a part in that. So for most people, that was like, oh, wow, they're doing it, so this must be wrong. But then again, you also, of course, have the people that speak of their opinion very freely about racism, about Black people, just xenophobia in general. And I think that sometimes they kind of want to downplay racism in the sense of it's not that important, it has happened, let's move on, like you guys are way in the past. But things don't work like that. So in both ways it has enforced it, but also like kind of stopped it.
I agree. It's literally both. Because at one point, if you open Instagram, you see the most racist video.
That's true.
You see the most racist video, and I'm not gonna lie, I find them funny sometimes, unless they're like by an actual racist person. But most of the time, it's just jokes, right?
Yeah.
But like it could enforce it in that way. But what you said, like with the Black Lives Matter movement, it was really everybody came together.
Everyone
like,
came together.
It's
united.
true, but the thing is, if you didn't participate, then people would get mad at you and be racist for you.
That
or
is
call
you racist. Yeah, that's true.
Racist, so, but then they would talk about because you're, for example, you're white. That's why you didn't participate. So I'm like, that was the best of both worlds.
But also part of it is because social media is very performative. Like you only post what you want people to see, or you only like, for example, with like the entire genocide thing going on, like a lot of people are not educated about it, but because they are scared to like not post about it, to be named as like a Zionist or everything else, they do post it, but they actually don't know what they're but they actually don't know like what they're posting about and why it's so important. And that was the same with like the Black Lives Matter movement, because a lot of like Caucasians or people that have not stood in our shoes actually don't understand. Like the moment that a police car like rolls up behind me, I'm like, okay, like what am I gonna say? Or like, do I have my hands where they can see them? Where are the exits? Or like, have I been around someone? Because I've had one time that I was walking somewhere and they just asked me, a police officer asked me a bunch of questions, and I knew better than to answer them. And I also said like, I don't know what is going on, but I know that I'm not the one you're looking for. And it can be very intimidating, but also if you know what to do, if you know what to say, then it's going to be more like, okay, it's not that bad. But people just abuse their power at times, and I think that's also a big thing with social media, that people abuse their power or like manipulate situations.
That's true.
Yeah, very fair. No, social media definitely has a lot of influence in enforcement and battling against.
Yeah.
It really just depends on what you follow, then it will either enforce it or battle against it for real. Because when you're watching, like when you follow all these like meme accounts, and meme accounts are nice, but you also have them that are like actively posting more racist stuff.
Yeah.
But also it's just a funny sense that could still enforce it, right?
Yeah, it still enforces it.
Yeah, because actual racists will actually like it in a way, like, oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
While other people see it as
ammo, but shoot themselves in the foot later.
Yes,
exactly. Also, people think, well, more people are going to think, oh, it's okay to joke about this.
Yeah.
Yes. Even though at some certain point, you just have to shut up, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you will actually, like, I actually sent you something the other day, and I was like, I can't defend us anymore. Like, and I said it in a jokingly way, but I was serious. It was a video of a black person and a white woman. The black person was in a cage, and she fed him KFC and watermelon. And I'm just like, why would you participate in a video like that? Because you are, like, of course, you're your own person, but you are putting like an image out there for all black, because when a racist looks at one black person, they don't see the difference between, like, they will think we all look the same.
Yes,
they will think we all look the same,
basically.
So it's you know, it's you have to be very watchful. You have to be actually like very watchful what you post, what you repost, what you send to other people. Like, unless like you know, oh, they're just my friends and they'll get the joke, sure, but like don't post it out there for everyone to see. Exactly, because you're promoting a wrong thing. But I still am under like the impression that it is still both worlds, because without social media, like even if we're not going to talk about the Black Lives Matter movement, right? We wouldn't have known about George Floyd. The news wouldn't have known about George Floyd because it was recorded, it was posted on social media. It was it is also like police brutality, right?
Yes.
We would not know about all those cases. Like, sure, we would know about 1-2 cases if just like anyone just randomly went to to court and like sued them and then it'd be on the news. But without social media, we would not know how often it happens or how often, like, it doesn't have to be just like when we get pulled over. Like what you said, you were walking. Like, I've had that too, and it is actually insane. I remember my brother was playing basketball once. Police officers came, judged him and 2 of his friends, and there was like 3 other friends that were white, and it was like 3 black guys, including my brother, and then 3 white guys, and they just get like questioned out of nowhere. Like they were a group, all 6 of them. Like it is without social media, we wouldn't know about as much. Sure, people can have a lot of opinions on them, but it can still be so good, like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it really makes it go out there for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a good part about it, but it also makes everyone, it goes out so everyone can see it, so it can have this, it can
Yes.
be
Yeah.
positive and negative at the same
Same
time.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So. We're gonna round this up. That was a very good talk. We could definitely keep going, but
Yeah, we
we're
could,
out
but
of time.
let's not.
We're out of time limit. So first off, thank you for watching. 100% thank you for watching. Taking the time to maybe learn something new. If you did, praise the Lord. If you didn't, praise the Lord anyway.
Amen.
Second, when it comes to races, etc., and racism altogether, definitely wrong. Yeah, I was here with
Sarah.
Zaira.
and I'm Nigel, and this was the Afropeans podcast. Good night. Good
Bye.
day. God bless. Bye-bye.
God bless.